Hi guys, welcome to my crazy messy kitchen. I've been baking all weekend, but I wanted to give you this really quick recipe because I think it's going to be great for a lot of different things. So today what we are making is a almond nut crust for like pies or tarts, like no bake pie kind of thing, tarts, or you could even use it for cheesecakes. It's really yummy and delicious, and it's really quick and easy to make. So this is going to be great if you're on like a low carb diet, low starches, or just if you really like almonds. So to get started with, I have whole almonds, not toasted or anything like that. I'm using approximately 2 cups. And that's going to go straight into my food processor. Then the next thing we're going to add is 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And we're going to go ahead and pulse this, but we are going to be adding butter, but we'll add that once the nuts and brown sugar is a little bit more incorporated. So hang tight. Now I still have some whole nut pieces in there. I'm not too concerned about that at this point because I'm still going to be adding in my butter. Now what you're looking for here is, well, obviously I'm not there yet, but the reason that I'm doing this in my food processor as opposed to using something like almond flour that's already processed is it's a little too processed. So I actually started making this because I needed a cheesecake crust that didn't have graham crackers, not actually for the carb purposes, but because I couldn't find sugar-free graham crackers and I happened to need them at that point. So this was my kind of substitute for that. Obviously you saw me put sugar in here, but you could use a brown sugar substitute as well if you were actually looking for a sugar-free crust. But using the almond flour, it's just too fine. You want this to be sort of like a mock graham cracker crust, just with nuts instead of the graham crackers. I am going to go ahead and pulse this a little bit more before I add my butter in. All right. Now you can take another look at this and you can see some of it, of course, is a little bit sandy. Some of it is a little bit more chopped up. That's a good starting point. Once I get my butter in there and give it that final pulse, it should be where we want it. Now, this is really super important. You want to use room temperature butter for this. It's going to help this hold together a little bit better. So like with a traditional graham cracker crust, you use melted butter. Do not, under any circumstances, use melted butter for this. It really needs that room temperature butter. So you don't want to use it cold. You don't want to have melted it down in the microwave first, anything like that. Use it in this form. I have a whole stick of butter cut up here. I might use a little bit less than that, so that's why I have it in the pats the way that I do, because I'm going to start with about 3/4 of that stick of butter, but I might end up using the whole amount. The mixture itself is going to tell me when it's ready. So we are going to pulse this again. All right. I can already see that it's starting to get to where we need it to be. So take a look at this. If you can see, it started to cake up around the sides of the food processor. This is just for me, by the way, so it's totally fine that I have my hands in here. But it's starting to clump, which is good. That's where you want it. And now I'm just going to take a taste of it. I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of butter in there. And just, well, I'm going to add 2 more tablespoons of butter. All right. Now it looks exactly like I want it. When I had it in there before, it still had a little bit of the sandiness. Now it's really all clumped together nice, and the reason that it's doing that is because of the room temperature butter. It's giving it that ability to clump like that, and that's why using the room temperature butter is such an important step. So now this part of it is really just like your traditional graham cracker crust, and you should be able to do exactly what I did and just take a handful of it and see if it tastes good. And if it tastes good, you're good to go. I literally, the first time I made this, was just standing here eating it out of the container because I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good. So then you're just going to do like a regular graham cracker crust where you're just tamping it down. Now, I'm a little bit more careful with this step than I am with a traditional graham cracker crust, just because the graham crackers kind of mush together on their own, and the extra pressure helps with that. In this case, extra pressure like that would just kind of break these apart. So it's not a whole lot different, honestly, but I am a little bit more gingerly with it. And today I'm going to be putting this into a 350 degree oven for anywhere between 10 to 15 to possibly a maximum of 20 minutes. Probably not so much on the 20 minutes. You don't want to cook this too long. For one thing, you don't really need to because it's just the nuts, but you just want to get it a little bit golden brown, which is going to happen most on the top of it. And just kind of to hold it together a little bit more. Just give it a little bit more stabilization so that you can cut it like a pie crust. You can fill this with pudding fillings, which is actually what I'm doing with it today. I'm going to be making a banana cream pie with this. You could use any like no-bake cheesecake with it, anything like that. And it's just really tasty, really delicious, and a fun little way to make your baking just a little bit more healthy, but not at all any less delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the last chance that you have to vote for your February videos. So please let us know if you would like to see loaded baked potato skins or homemade sweet potato fries. Let us know and we will film that video for you. Have a good day.